here. Get this rolling. Okay, a few minutes behind schedule here, but not too bad. A couple things we're working on here today. We got Chuck Dogwood. I'm working through his greens a little bit. Oh, there we are. There's Chuck. And that's been going well. But we also have our Dryad for Motor City Ray. She has been coming along swell. But also, we have this White Scar. I need to correct an issue on his backpack real quick, and then we'll be able to keep cracking along with that too. Make sure everything's running correctly back here. A little lighting adjustment. Did a base coat on the cloak last night, and I think it went well. I'm pretty content with that. But also, we need to get a bigger brush out. There's my size 3. Just toss Chuck here. Charles Dogwood, no! I use my size 2 and size 3 brushes more than I would say any other of my sables. I use mostly the my airbrush and just craft beat around brushes like this for the bulk of the paint jobs I do. But the detail work I tend to do entirely with, even though they are fine detail, like nice sable brushes, they're still, excuse me, I'm still not using like 000s regularly. I think the right answer in most situations is to find the largest brush for the job. So the bulk of my detail work tends to come from the like the fine point on this. Like this size 3 comes to, let's just say, a finer point than most zeros. So yeah, the lowest we tend to go is like size 1. There we go. Got some touch-up work to do on the backpack. I got a little too excited last night, and we laid down a color that was into the recesses, and I thought, oh, I should tidy that up. And then I thought, oh, I should just leave that and then fix that little spot. So I did. And the reality is, I didn't leave it. I went over it pretty immediately, and then it spread. And then I had just got done tapping some of this red paint on the cloak to get it to blend out. Guess what that did? It left a little pink streak. How nice that was. It's actually turning out quite a bit more stark than I want it to, so. Just gonna add a little bit of our mid-tone that we had in here. Blend. Nice in-between color. Will also cover much more nicely here. The real problem is when I was trying to clean it up, I even ruined the where I was laying down this metallic. So how nice. It was all quite literally for naught. But no big deal. The capacity to recognize that you're making a mistake is worth quite a bit, I think. Alright, here we are. Now, all I've done is added a little bit more of that. It's not our highlight tone, but our brighter tone to the paintbrush. It's just a little bit too much. And we get a little more of that mid-tone in here, and we're just gonna keep feathering that out so it looks natural. I think that's all you can do. Especially with lighter grays into whites, it's like you just keep the paints thin enough so that they don't start chalking up on you. Have a soft touch. Because you can't work and rework and address colors like this. They get fussy. Hey, Daff, good morning, good morning. Yeah, a little white scar action. Nothing like a white scar in AM, right? I'm actually fixing a little whoopsie I made last night, so that's fun. Pretty happy with the tones and the reds. Get that nice fade going. Be a nice base layer to work off of for sure. At least I think. Up in his tassels and so forth. Yeah. Here's another big reason why I use the bigger brushes. And I should say another major reason for using a bigger brush. You can put so much more paint on them. And Oracle of Twilight, 7 whole months. Time flies and your work still impresses me every time I come in. Keep it up, man. Well, thank you so much for the support. I feel the love every time. Oracle of Twilight, 7 months. That's original right there. That's first status right there. What a long, strange trip it's been. When Oracle was in here, we didn't even have a border around the picture. It's not as if I've fancified the stream to such a degree that we have more than that, but hey, and we do have those emotes too. Look out. Oracle, how has life been treating you? Here on the 2nd of April. is always kind of special when spring starts coming. Wow. Thank you so much for that follow. Hello, looks great. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm just tidying up some mistakes I made when I was layering in the adornments to the backpack. That had a lot of paint on it. Oh god. I usually deposit the paint and then tip the brush, but I did not go to design. Hank says, Chris, how do you paint white? Well, you paint it gray, actually. This is all mostly gray. If we look down here on his booty, in the shadow you can see what color it actually is. So it is, for me, you can use either a blue or a green gray. It is your preference. Let me grab the two colors I've used here. I went green with this one because white squares have a lot of red, and green and red tend to play off of each other nicely. I didn't want to do that typical red and blue. I wanted to put the blues into the cloak. Color theory stuff. Give me a second. There it is. No, that's not it at all. What have we done? I just put this on my palette last night, so I'm just blind. There it is. Okay. Provenzal. What? Wait a second. I'm going to pronounce this name correctly. We have Provenza? Provincial? Legaulis? Oh my. I'm not going to pronounce it correctly, but I am going to try to be respectful. Thank you so much for stopping in. Hello, good morning to you as well. It is 5:46 a.m. where I live, so yeah, don't try. French name. Welcome on in. We're talking about how to paint white. It's not about a recipe, but it is about some theory. So white is shades of gray. These are the three colors I've used. Ulthwyn Gray? Renmomo Good Eve. Wait, no. It's the other one. It's the morning one. So, Ulthwyn Gray? I can't pronounce this one either, so don't worry about that. It's a very, very light gray. It is... We're going to call this as close to white as you'll get in most cases. And that's our highlights. We have... What I used here is a Crixbane base. This is a very dark... reasonably neutral, but shifted to green. Gray. You can see here how dark and neutral it is. Every company's going to give you a dark gray, and they'll give you one that's more blue, one that's more green. No big deal there. Just pick what flavor you like. So I use that, and in this case I have the Crixbane Highlight, which is just a more neutral greeny gray, brighter, a lot more desaturated. And so we covered the model entirely in this. We covered it almost entirely in this. And then we just picked out our highlights with this one. At the end of the day, I've used this flat white, which is kind of akin to a titanium white. Very, very bright. I really enjoy this Tamiya because it doesn't chalk up on you and goes on super smooth. I like that. But that's just my preference. You could use titanium white ink, heavy body titanium white's very popular in the community. It is all your preference and it is all groovy. But white has to be applied thinly and it has to be applied kind of responsibly. And we are just going through and tidying up where I was foolish enough to think I didn't need to, this armor that I airbrushed should have been clear coated to protect it, but I was like, nah, we'll just move on and I'll start like dark lining and such. Surprise ending. We made some whoopsies. Drax01 rating with a party of 50. What is that? Good morning, everybody. How are you? I'm not certain why it didn't play loud enough my alert. Welcome on in. How is everybody doing? I hope you are all well. I am just working on some white scars with kind of white armor. We were just discussing how it's almost entirely gray. Arcanum Venoms, good morning, good morning. Twilight throwing out those emotes. Maybe alerts are going to be broken today. It's early. You know, we like to get up and figure out what's going to be what for the day. Clan Wolf, good morning to the Clan Wolf. Oh yeah. I'm gonna play with our focus here on this camera while everybody's coming in. Good morning. Where are properties here? There it is. We were off by one go. That's much better. I think when last I was working, it was with a larger model. But yes, everyone, welcome on in. Hope you're working on something interesting and fun. Here we're quite a bit more neutral today, color-wise. But yeah, this is in the very early stages. We're just blocking in colors for the most part here. If you're interested, lately, here's some things that we generally work on in this stream. We've been working on a bust a lot lately. I will demonstrate her wonderful. Ren Momo says, I don't know whether to correct you or Chan or not, as I don't know Japanese well enough. Oh no. Clem says, in the moment we lost 20 viewers. Oh no. Bixie in the morning, hey mate, how you doing and how back at you? Well, I don't know if you're female or a little, oh no, oh no, oh no. Be gone, weebs. Everybody be careful. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a great morning. We also have some very cool Alpha Legion. Don't look at that sword. The sword's not ready. It's not ready. We'll unveil the backpack later. It is almost ready. Uh-oh. Pixie says, do you know when the first time a payment went through, 1st April, I guess? I believe that is correct. I will pull up that information and I'll kick it to you. It is all in the Patreon. I have access to it. I'll get that for you. Where were we? We were touching this up. Yeah, these blends smoothed out pretty nicely for us. I'm just gonna fix a little bit here. Again, this is all with those grays. And the thing is, when you bring in your next colors, the grays just turn more and more white. And you absolutely can use white in the highlights, and I think that you should. I think that's the thing that will really separate your work from others. But the thing is, it's about using the white sparingly. If you throw it on every little aspect of the model, it'll kind of lose all meaning. It's that same thing we talk about when highlighting and shading comes up. It's like if you don't have darkness near your highlights, then it's just a big bright area, or it's a big light colored area, and that's no good either. Ink says, at Nomadic, I've been painting some more DC characters. I saw and liked a bunch of them, but you kept posting updates. I don't know if I kept up with them as well as I should have. If you'd like, Inks, please give it a share. We got over 60 in here. Says, morning, sir. First time catching you on a Wednesday. Well, we're glad you've done it. Ren Momo says, I've hit a wall and I have no motivation. What's up with that, Ren Momo? You've hit that wall. That's no good. Here we're just feathering in a little bit more of this. Rach, R-A-C-H, Rach, 272727. Thank you so much. Next has finished up Constantine. If everybody wants to take a look at what they're working on, always wonderful work. Constantine's such a fantastic character too. Little opinionated for some, but right up my alley. Okay. Just again, just tidying up some areas that weren't as smooth as I wanted them to be. Blending them out. Kawa Wombat. We got a Wombat in the building. Good morning. Thank you so much for that follow. Hope you are well. If anybody's working on anything and wants to talk about their projects, if anybody has any questions about how to do anything, I am not the oracle that knows all, but I do have a ton of resources and I can point you in a good direction. Also, I've got a lot of good artists in here as well that can answer questions. Remember says, I look at my unfinished Gaslands cars and go, man, I have no idea what to do or not to, or nor do I want to put the effort into finding out. Nor do I want to put the effort into finding out. Remember, what is that? Pizza, punch, coffee, and chicken. Oh, well, it's been. Clanwolf feeling sassy this morning. Clanwolf, how's your week been? Just feathering these two colors into one another. His arm sits right here with he's got a rather large blade. In fact, it's this blade. So we're not going to worry about too much down here with the shading, but some of these areas do need to be addressed. Clanwolf says, Pixie says, is your resource called Carl Lucas? He is really knowledgeable on this. He knows his business. You know, this is, I think you can only be truly excellent at so many things. Like, you have to have your focus on the things you're trying to be great at. And for me, I dive into painting videos, and I've been trying to do things like this and that. Carl Lucas, my buddy, he is so heavy into a lot of these knowledge bases and communities. He knows what he's talking about, and so I just default to him on a lot of stuff. He's not, he's not going to be the guy that I go to for painting. I know people on that. But if you have some list questions and I haven't heard the answer, I'll find you an answer. I know some people. Over 60 says, just finished my first Cadian infantry squad. Third attempt at painting image is not great. I don't know, but they're looking good though. Well, that's one thing Imperial Guard have. Like, they have some volume to them. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All 10 of them in there. And they're looking great. I do not have my Instagram connected to my PC, but I will catch you on that like after the stream. Thank you so much for sharing, 60. Over 60. We got Warpedaf. Warped Path. So sorry for not being able to say something so easy to say, or read, rather. Good morning back at you. How are you today? We're just working on a little White Scars action. Yeah, I got you. Thank you, Ren Momo. It's 6 a.m. I'm clearly not going to wake up for a little while yet. I don't know. Oh, that's better. I need to be a little higher. Look at Artemis here. Look at his bird. Got him a little bit blended in. I'm really digging these tassels here on the skulls. Provençal 78. Changed my name. I think it's easier to pronounce now. I am so sorry for my part in making you feel like all these dumb English-speaking people don't know how to pronounce my fine name. I am sorry about that, but I do give my level best. Trigo Star. Well, thank you so much for that follow. Making that corgi wiggle is always a wonderful sight to see. This morning, I don't blame you. Pixie says, looking good. Provençal says, you weren't the only one. Clanwolf and Momo and Daff sharing a moment right now. I'm tidying up where I thought I would do some dark lining, and we got real sloppy entirely too late into last evening, but it's a beautiful thing about painting. You can always put more paint on it. Warp Path says, it's okay. I got used to people butchering that a bit. Just got up after I spend the whole night preparing some stuff and sitting in front of my cutting mat to prepare a huge pile of decals for some Sons of Horus destroyers. Well, that sounds like a good time. Where have we been? Oh yeah, I wanted to tidy up around this rib cage here. This is good. But yeah, we're entering into the second month of the Patreon, and things are moving at a pretty much a quicker clip than I expected. So I got the custom grips in to do for everybody. So everybody's getting a box, I should say, is going to get a non-airbrushed custom grip from Orthober Studios. I've got some magnets, I've got some stickers, and I don't know if we're going to have dice in time. I don't know how long an order for those takes, but I've got to find a better supplier that will be responsive. So that search is underway currently. This is tidying up nicely. Sometimes you don't know how something's going to turn out until it starts to dry a little bit, and then you get a good vibe. Ramoma says, I need to get on my models, but Dogo snores are too interesting to listen to. Over 60 says, I hope to be half as good as Chris by the time I reach 62. There's always, I think in this hobby, you have to realize that it is only time and practice that builds a technique. To learn how to perform a technique, that's it. You just got to practice it, and then you can do it. You can train just about anybody to do that, including yourself, right? The thing that takes time is like how to look and think critically about things. That's a whole different thing. I am not there yet. I'm pretty good at replicating stuff at this point, but the other thing to consider is I've only been at this a couple years. So when you say in a couple years, just think what you'll do in, think about a year down the road, and think about 2, 3, 4. That's the one thing you have to consider when you look at some of these people that are super professional at it. It's just time with the brush. No shortcuts. Ever. Got the juju. Good morning. Thank you so much for that follow. Hope you're well. Again, if anybody has anything they're working on, any projects they'd like to share, we always love looking at other artists' work. It's always so inspiring to see what people are working on, what they're passionate about. And we all know how much time and effort it takes to get something painted up. They're all little labors of love, really. McBree? Bree or Bray? Let me know. Hello, everybody. For me, I will need 3x magnifier to go with my 4.25x glasses to be able to put that much detail in. I mean, I feel like you're coming in hot with the joke, but you might not know. A lot of people do use those visors. And one thing that I like to do is not wear my glasses, like now. Gotta do something with this light. A little bright. Give me a second here. On Discord, need to go to a meeting. Will do, Pixie. We'll catch you then. My face cam here is dying a slow death. And so with that, it tends to wash me out. It's not picking up much contrast. And so I'm already pretty pale. It's a complicated piece. I'm going to get a new camera. Yeah, here you can see where the white is not so smooth. Warped Path says another quite important thing, in my opinion, to learn from somebody who knows what they do. I often encounter tutorials on YouTube or the internet, but couldn't get it done until somebody showed me what I did wrong with it. Yeah, that's another good thing. You can start to pick out what's actually happening when you see what they're doing. Warp Path, I started doing tutorials with like not to say coachings, but they are kind of coachings, or sit down and talk with people about like painting and what they're trying to do. Like a lot of it has been coming up with color schemes, but oftentimes the answer is just, oh, you're practicing your wet blends, let's see what you're doing and let's go from there. Let's get an example of what the blend looks like. And sometimes just watching somebody do exactly what you're trying to do can be helpful, but sometimes you need like to watch them perform the task correct or incorrectly and go from there. McBrary says, yeah, if I didn't wear glasses, it would be a little blurry. Yeah, luckily my eyes aren't so bad. But my point being, and for you, the glasses may be necessary, and perhaps the visor would be the next step. Like for me, my glasses are probably like my visor. But it's important to 5,000 feet, like look at the model at a distance a little bit, get everything generally in, and then as you refine and start to pick out your edge highlights, that's when you zoom in more and more. Morning, do we share? Yes, Guard Daddy. Please, Inger or Instagram are all welcome and happy to go. Red Momo working on those beautiful Gaslands. Over 60 says, putting a lot of time in right now. Computer tech working from home. Work computer on the left. Paint table on the right. There you go. Living that life. Sadly, I'm not in that boat. But I am working, so can't be too upset. My state's unemployment website crashed over the weekend. People have been trying to, there's a lot of people finding themselves in need right now. And there's been a bunch of news. The evil honk. Haha, still tired, still need to rest my sleep or reset my sleep schedule. I'm gonna shower and get energy soon. Well, there you go. Red Mama says, but Nomadic, that's the car that I did a while ago with the comparison picture. What? I'm gonna see that. Let me see that. Oh my God. Anybody's looking for inspiration, time and effort. And Red Mama, you can't find a reason to paint? Don't you want to see the third car in that progression? Get at it. The evil honk says, then just play a lot of games all day. Oh, there you go. Be nice to do that. The Warped Path says, ugh, wet blends really dislike that because I cannot get it done. I tend to use glazing after I do most of the work with my airbrush, but I tend to use hard weathered style anyway, so smooth transitions aren't that important. Smooth transitions can never be discounted. Personal opinion, I think it's a dying art, and I think it's one of the things that truly separates people's work. I don't think I think very few artists tend to put the time in on blending, and that's why I tend to do it. So, like, let's just take a look at Sorsha here. When you look at a model like this, for those of you that are new in here, this is the kind of things we tend to work on. At least we try to get our stuff to this point. Do it, Red Momo. Do it, do it. Inks with the share. I'm gonna get some coffee. We got all kinds of stuff going on here. Yeah, everything's closing down. It's just a super unique time. I don't know. I talked to any of our family, friends, anybody that's lived a little bit of a life, like over 60. You've been around a while, and so I'm gonna be, not to overshare, but in 2 days I'm gonna have a birthday. I'm gonna be officially into our mid-30s. Like, what is that? I was born in 86, if anybody wants to do the math. But, yeah, I don't know anybody that's been through anything like this, seen anything like this, can remember a time when something like this happened. So, but yes, Warp Path with the wet blends. So that's how we accomplish these beautiful, smooth, creamy reds. Also how we accomplish this non-metallic effect. That's also how we accomplished her face. In the blending, even depending on how you finish it, so you can still come through once you're done and start applying these chipping effects. And what I tend to do is I work the model in a, let me clean some of this dust off here, as if it's not going to be chipped, right? So we do all these blends nice and smooth, and then in the end I'll come through and I'll look for mistakes. I've done like, for me, this shoulder pad, at least the red on it, is an example of I don't know how to make that red better. I don't know what to do to it. Like, this is the extent of my capacity on the red. Now the gold, this non-metallic, I have many things I'm not happy with in the end. Lessons I learned along the process, things I'd like to bring in to my next model, but that's what I'm generally doing when I paint things. But like this red armor, for me right now, you're looking at the cap on my capacity. Now I'm also very happy with the fur hat, but that's different. I have things I would do differently here, and I think I can make this fur better. But the red, no. But now, like, when I find a problem, however, like right here, here's a little gritty mistake. So if we wanted to be super, super critical, we can come in here with those fine magnifying glasses and the visors, and like here we could put a little chip. And perhaps here we could put a little chip. But I would save all that for the end. That's when I take the imperfections and make them perfect little mistakes. I got to come through and grab all these things. We got Ink sharing beautiful work, always with Ink's work. Ren Momo with more work, car and video to share. All right. Video game weapon skin on the car. I got you. Ink says, "Yay, Chris, 1 year younger than me." We're all hitting those mid-30s. You know what it is. Not everybody, but you and I at least. Warped Path says, "Oh, I agree. For my commission work, smooth blends are important, but the combination of using an airbrush and careful glazes is the way I learned it, and it works for me. That's what I wanted to." Oh, yeah. I'm with you there. I use my airbrush for a lot of this, but like wet blending isn't a finishing piece. So for me, I wet blend to build the model up. Like we wet blended this. Tomato Dryad here. Ren Momo will be turning 21 at ReaperCon. Are you heading to ReaperCon? That's pretty cool. Let me get our music back rocking here. I don't know that anything we were listening to was ever actually rocking, but let's see here. Oh yeah, let's see what this is like. But yeah, you don't have to use techniques that aren't for you. They're all just techniques. For me, I guess the reason I should say this in Warpath, this might be Warpath. I knew you were going to say it. Everybody does this. So check us out. For anybody, oh gosh, we almost lost our white scar. So on this model, some of you were actually in here for the long haul with me working on this. But we spent so much time, multiple days. I would put down, I feel real silly if there's paint in this. I feel real silly. Just making sure. So, refining her skin tone. So like I would do some work on her face and then leave it. So real flat, whatever, no big deal. And then like we worked on the armor again and again. And this non-metallic effect is still being refined in different places. I'm fairly happy with the neck. I'm very happy with the shoulder, though there are things I would do differently here. We're leaving it for now. The hat's non-metallic is just blocked in, but I mean, we worked multiple days on different parts of this. What I did very, very quickly was this hat. I painted it with my fingers. I tapped the paint on, and I got this nice, realistic effect. And widely, everybody loves it, and I love it too. But the thing that's interesting to me is it is the first thing universally, Warpath, the fur hat looks amazing. I get compliments on this hat out the gate all over the place. But I guess to me, I discount it because I didn't have to labor over it. It wasn't something that I struggled with, and so I discount its value. And so I was like, of course you like the hat. But it wasn't this area that I worked to get the light volumes to be correct. They're still probably not right. But that's the thing. That's the thing with painting. You're always practicing something different. A lucky accident. The difference between being lucky and being good. Can you replicate it? Kind of thing. What do we have here? I'm an awesome teacher. Well, thank you, Inks. I try to get my point across, work on my communication. McBray says, watching pro painters has taught me I am using brushes wrong. Basically, I just look to have 3 dry brushes, 4 fine, 0 and double aught, and 1 beat up tool. So for me, I use like size 6 craft beat up brushes for a lot of my stuff. The larger brushes tend to help me with my blending. So we use like these big synthetic beat arounds to put the miles on, right? And then here you see me working with a size 3 nicer brush. That finest sable. Yeah, beast. But I do most of my detail work with a size 3 and a size 2. And then like I'll pick up a size 1 or a 000 when necessary, but those are infrequent. Like here's a size 1. So small. Can't hold much paint. I like a lot of paint in my brush. Too Many Spruce says good morning, hey, and shouts out to Red Moma, but who doesn't? Inks had a cat on the table. Cat on a table. I think that's a Munchkin D&D card effect. The cat on the table. I gotta get something down here into this recessed. Yeah, let's see what we want to do next here. Let's try to take a break from this white a little bit, and let's try to sketch in a little bit more with our cloak. So we've been talking about wet blending a little bit. I'm gonna grab our shadow color here. We're just gonna work it up a little more specifically. Smooth out some of these transitions just a little bit. This isn't our darkest color. Just sketching some of these volumes in. Sketching means we're not worried about them being super blended. We will get much more concerned with being specific like that soon, though. Caffeine. What is this? Let me see. Oh, make sure I'm not cutting you off here. Caffeine TW, thank you so much for that follow. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. We're just painting, chatting, loving when people are sharing their work. Inks and Ren Momo have projects they're working on. Over 60 just wrapped up some beautiful guardsmen. We answer them all in here. Yeah. Anyhow, Spruce says, oh, shouts out to Jade. Ren Momo and Clanwolf are still locked eyes. Clanwolf to Ren Momo, you clearly haven't looked at the Space Marine stuff. If military started wearing black and hot pink, I'd question them. We got the Industrial Revolution in here. Look out, we're about to get efficient. It says, I just finished the paint on a set of AdMech Rangers. Now I need to do the base work. You can't discount too much how much nicer a model looks with just a base on it. Just a little bit of something extra to add some atmosphere, some environment. So yeah, here we're just working kind of like a mid-tone up here a little bit. Now I'm gonna grab a little bit brighter tone. This is just the value of a wet palette. Work this down into the shadow a little bit. We're gonna try to pull these tones down. And actually here, right here, let me try to make this in focus. Nakisiro, somebody said pics? Oh, coming out of the warp for the pics? I don't know if you're gonna get what you're looking for here, but you may if you hang out long enough. Alright, so here we're just laying down some of this color. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna work in a little bit more paint here. I want it to be quite a bit wet and a little bit thicker than I would normally put down, but we're gonna lay that right there. And I'm gonna come in, I'm just gonna grab that darker tone, that mid-tone we were working with. I'm gonna start lower, I'm gonna push them together, push up past, just agitate the brush and leave it. And that's how you do a blend. And then if we grab our even darker tone, now we can work those two together. Keep smoothing them out. Yeah. The thing I enjoy about this, especially for beginning, is how forgiving it is. Because you can work back and forth time and again to get the effects you're after. And as we go through and refine, then I can start picking out where I want my highlights to go, where I want my midtones to go. Instead of looking at this as a generalized area, we'll just be getting more and more specific again and again as we go through. Glamour with the share. Give me a second here, everybody. I gotta get some of this laid down here. Sadly, wet blending is not something you can really take your time with. Once you start laying the paint down, you gotta keep it active until you're ready to let it dry. Then you can always come back in and do more work with it. That's no problem. But it would basically just be doing the last layer you did again, though. Garden Daddy with the follow. Well, thank you so much. Give me just a moment here. We're trying to work these colors together. I think this transition's a little stark for right now. You can see that line. So I'm going to grab our previous color. We still have our brush quite loaded up. We're just feathering that out. Now that's quite a bit less dramatic. Grab even more of our shadow. Now we'll bring them together. Here when we shake it, that line just disappears. But I think being comfortable enough to work with that much paint just takes a little bit of bravery. It's not too hard, it just takes a little bit of effort to get there. Here in this recess, it's not much different. Check out this link we have here. Christopher Walrave? Christoph Walrave. Dim's fighting words Nagi Zero. Emo Ultramarines. Oh no. Industrial Revolution with the follow. Look at everybody find that follow button. I would sub for this emote and this emote alone. With the lurk. Oh, there's those AdMech crawlers. Look out. AdMech and crawler. Why am I saying crawlers? The AdMech. Oh, that crawler is such a good model. So strong. Like, its flamers are no joke at all. We got Jexter in the morning, says yo good morning, throwing out that good emote. We got Mikey Vengeance, Mikey Vengeance. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. Working on some red blends, keeping it smooth. I get it. I could have my airbrush out right now, but I think it's important to practice brush skills. Just laying down some more of that mid-tone. Here we're going to bring in, and this is the same thing as working with any color. I haven't actually laid down my bright red yet. We're still just kind of building up to it, kind of teasing its presence here. We're working in shades of purple and blue. But as we go, we'll start to actually get there. I don't know what the right answer is here. And red's one of those colors that really wants to be layered on top of itself to get it to be bold and vibrant. And so that's another reason to kind of hold off on when you want to go up to it, because you can always just, you don't need to add anything to it to brighten it, you just keep putting it on top of itself. Mikey Zero says, as a suggestion, if you only have a few emotes, make something emotive that can be used in other streams rather than your own. Yeah. Mikey Vengeance says, like Vengeance. Yes. I got you. Mikey Zero, yep. Renmo says, thus the emote I lurk 30% of the time and wanted my Kitte McBray. Thank you so much for that follow. The lurk emote. Wicked Jexter. So helpful. The Industrial Revolution says, yeah, I'm happy with how the crawler turned out. Tested a new paint scheme on my Leviathan Dreadnought and liked it. So repainting the... Oh my goodness, I lost the chat. So repainting everything to do the color for now. My Death Guard. Pearls 300, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. Yeah, it's a great color. I like what you do with the tread work, and you got the poxes coming in. No doubt. Cleo shouts out the Industrial Revolution, says, nice looking Rangers. It's a good Plague Burst crawler, but I'm too busy staring at my boy in the back, that Leviathan. Remo was in the chat be popping. Chat do be popping like that. Ink's got that modified emo through them shades on the straight cash. Look at Jex says, I use these emotes everywhere. Jex, you have the booty emote? It's not my booty emote. Remember, this is also Chris. Oh, yeah. These the ones you shared earlier, or are these different? Oh, there's the weapon skin. Yes. I think you did a good job bringing that camo design into the car there. The yellow and gunmetal gray there is not easy to work with or simple by any stretch. Look at Jex throwing the money out. Remomo says, hell yeah, it wasn't. Cries, oh no, Remomo, relax, it's okay. It's done now. You've done the work. Jex says, especially at the club. Jex, you don't have the booty emote, I'm guessing? Mikey Vengeance says the booty. See, what you need is you need to put that booty down and then you can throw the cash at it. Saw somebody with a booty emote one time. I was like, oh no. This one's gonna blow it up. But I never found out where they got it from. And Momo says, I did 2 cars actually. A truck and that car. Oh, yeah. Okay. Jack says, oh no, man, I lost that one I had. Lost it. How dare you? Just continuing to work this into actual red tones. But yeah, the things that I'm happy with on this model so far are really like these tassels. I'm very happy with where they're at right now. And the other tassels are right here from a centerpiece. Oh my. Liv says, time to edge highlight a damnable tank. Kill me. What? Oh, that's gonna be a lot of work, Clan Wolf. Try to saturate this shoulder pad. Oh no! See, this is one of those times where we might be embracing a little chipping. Better come off of there. Bumming me out. Oh, the levee. Let's check out this Leviathan here. And Momo says, but yeah, my point with that was that I had a goal in mind with those, and I really didn't have those going forward. But Clanwolf gave me a good idea. Clanwolf's good for many ideas. That is a Leviathan. Does that mouse have enough buttons? What is that, a Naga? Just smoothing out these transitions. Perhaps we'll work our way brighter and brighter. Again, there's an arm going to be in here, so I can't get too excited. Leave it a bit hidden in there. I don't want it to be too bright down here in the bottom, but it would be darker. It truly would. Industrial Revolution, been using that Naga since it came out. It's funny. Mikey Vengeance says to Clanwolf, that's not too bad. I've been edge highlighted repulsor, including the inner panels. Ooh, that's a lot of work. Clanwolf says back. It's in my scheme since I have to do 2 different edge highlights, one of which is 2 different paints. Oh my. Then it's just onto the tracks. Keep it simple, right? Do all that track work. I'm just going to try and catch this. Let's deal with this flyaway first. This is the part that would catch the light in here if anything was gonna. Like I said, we're not going to labor too much over this because it will be sort of concealed by the blade.
It was all a big mistake. Never meant to miss the date. I was caught up with my friends. I forgot that we had plans. So the roses on the floor and found the champagne by.
Yeah, here. Yeah, I think that red's come out all right. Perhaps now we can start to highlight our lightning bolts a little bit, just a little bit. And bring in more and more of this pure red. But only as we approach the top here. Let's make sure we're on camera for you. Again, red's one of those colors where simply layering it on top of itself tends to highlight it. So as we build up to that full opacity, we don't actually need to add anything to it. Just put a little bit more paint on it. For me, that's always a good move. Add a little paint. This little by little, they'll build up and saturate. I'm gonna do the same thing up here on this tiny little bolt on the banner. Just kind of gonna just using the edge of the brush to pick out those edges. Just like that, we have something. Oh, Citrio 88, thank you so much for that follow. Welcome on in. How are you today? Have you been working on anything fun? I'm gonna pick out more and more details on this particular bolt because it's right here. This will be center mass on it. Since the Shadow Seer didn't come in on time, I was thinking this would make a suitable replacement for our subscriber giveaway until we can get our Shadow Seer in. Citrio says, built a corn of skulls yesterday. Oh, well, look out. That sounds really awesome. Do you have any pictures? We'd love to have a look. Luput the Mad. Luput the Mad. Thank you so much for that follow. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing all right. If you're working on anything interesting, everybody should share. It's always nice to see what people are working on, what they're interested in. Think Lupu the Mad. Oh, I don't know. It's 6:42 a.m. Clearly, I add an extra T into people's names. I am so sorry about that. Cleo says he's mad. Mad, I tell you. Oh no. Lucky Zero says 2. What are you doing, kitten? Why are you tagging your scratch post? Oh, cat's all worked up. I'm gonna mix a little more black into this. I do like picking out these little backpack details. I think they really add some nice flavor to the paint. That's not a metallic paint joke. That's the truth of it. I think that they add something. Lupu says, and I'm not working on anything this second, but I have multiple things in progress as is tradition. Yes, no, that's absolutely what we do in here. We get all the whips, and then we talk about what they could be. If you have an Instagram, everybody ought to share their Instagrams. That's, I think, for most, that's the best way to follow. I have an Instagram down below. Ren Momo uses Imgur. Day So Pretty. Reference I got from Discord. Faceless Pupper's Discord. Okay. I just thought the name Faceless Pupper would confuse you. I'm getting better. Hold on, warped lightning look. Acrylic pore look. Okay. Pokes Naki on the nose. Boop. They have kicking boops out. It's such an hour for a boop. Alright, let's see if we can get in here without jacking up either end of this backpack. For those of you that weren't here when we started the stream, I was tidying up where I bumped the backpack with this. And when I went to clean it up, I'm not going to talk through this. Give me a second. When I went to clean it up, I made it so much worse. I had to repaint this whole upper area. Which with white is no just no ha 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 kind of task. White is kind of complicated like that. Most colors you can just cover right up, but white's so transparent it's kind of a bear. Swedish Machine Spirit. It's a funny name. Is it looking nice? Well, thank you so much. Artemis is the best. Look at him. Look at his falconry. I think the comment that was made was, oh, what's that? What did they say? Oh, we're fighting against Tau and orcs? Artemis, wait, where did you get the human head? Where did you get it? Crack me up. That was saying, welcome, we get Naki Zero with the I need that Swedish pasta machine. I'm sorry. You need to get a Swedish pasta machine. Red Momo says, hey, you're going for another hour and 15, right? Yes. No, I'm on until 7:30, so we're about 45 minutes. Naki Zero, I'm sorry. Swedish Machine Spirit says, I have no idea what a Swedish pasta machine would be. It'd just be a pasta machine that was made in Sweden. I think that's pretty obvious. Naki Zero says, I don't know, you'd probably have to assemble it yourself. At any rate, that is correct. It would be very space efficient. IKEA is life, I tell you. It is life. You know what it is? It is all about those little meatballs. I've never actually had one, if I'm being completely honest, but I hear they're good. Okay. So I had a bunch of opaque black to this mix. And now I'm just grabbing my metallic. I'm kinda just applying it where I want it to be shiny. Shiniest. Sort of painting these little resin flakes where they make the most sense. So in essence, here we are. This will read probably a little bit better. So here we're going to edge and probably do a little bit along the bottom. On either side of these. This will build up the vibrancy and actually show a little bit of a transition as opposed to just blanketly laying this down. I'm going to put a little bit of a shine up here as well, because this would really catch it up here. We can even get fancy. Excuse me. We can even get fancy and maybe put little spots out here on these little rivets. Skoiks, S-K-I, Ski Oaks, Skoiks. Thank you so much for that follow. Please correct me where I'm wrong with the name. I often am. Oh boy. Let's see if we can get a little bit of the shine up there as well. The things that separate them. Alright. Go back to this darker tone and let's round out the front of this guy here. Let's see if we can actually get in here without making too much of a mistake, of a kerfuffle. I'm going to go to the far side here because of the tip of the brush and the shape of things. It's all about the angle. Yeah. I'm going to fix this. I'm gonna go through and disable all these ones with words. Alright, remember, we'll see you shortly. Clinton says, I like idea better. Hermitcraft. Oh, yeah. Oh, but the DIY? Oh boy, look out. What did I throw? What did we lose? Oh, the top of this. That's it. Oh no! Get out of here. Throwing everything. Need to likely actually pay a little attention to this arm at some point, huh? Just taking that darker mid-tone red that we've been working with, not the darkest one. But I'm going to lay it down here on the back side of the lightning bolt. I'm going to grab our brighter red here. Didn't clean the brush or anything, left it. So it's still got a little bit of that mix in there. I'm just going to start laying it down on the front. We got Mikey RR. Good morning, Mikey. How are you today? We're just working on a little bit of lightning bolt action here. I'm seeing that we have this such a large sculpt here. Hang on. I'm going to come at this from a different angle. Switching it up, you know. You working on anything fun lately, Mikey? Everybody's got all this extra time lately, you know. Alright, we're going to switch back to the mid-tone here. Make sure we're fully opaque, got that good coverage. I didn't use the pure red, so now we'll come back through with that. Lupus says Adeptus Titanicus. Oh, let's have a peek. Ooh, like that orange. At least it's reading as orange. Hopefully that's correct. Alright, so now we're just kind of going to edge highlight things. With that pure red. Do something fun out here on this tassel as well. So here I've just grabbed our darker tone. Starting to work that there. Up here into that recess. Just grab a little more red. Start to work that in higher up. Actually, I'm thinking we want to bring some blue in down here. Helps if you actually get some of the blue in. That helps it contrast nicely. Swedish Machine Spirit, yeah, I'm glad I can see it correctly with the orange. The Machine Spirit says Sweden is not under total lockdown. That's good. We're getting there closer and closer day by day. Cliff says, have fun, Swedish. Cliff says, any plans on picking up the Ordo Sinister Titan? Oh, excuse me. Must be all the paint I've eaten. Let's see the front of this here. There's a little mid-tone action here. Get some actual blue down here in the tail. Oh, it's probably a bit too much.
I can tell you want me, but don't make a move. That will only scare me. This love is just for you. Yeah, I got my reasons why I can't receive. I'm too messed up to believe that love is made for two. That love is good to you. For me, it's never true. I'm too messed up to believe that you could heal my heart, that you won't leave a scar. For me, it's always hard.
Try to get a little more of this red up here. I think that's one of the beauties of the wet blend, is that you just let the colors for the most part marry on the brush. We'll keep accumulating, and things will get smoother and smoother as you work them. Blue Poo says, at some point, though I play Trader. Clint was right about that. That's a sweet model. Just trying to find the angles to get back here and get all this wrap without overpainting anything that was done in such a delicate color like, you know, white or red. So don't mind all that. So once that's laid down, we're just gonna start to very generally pick out these larger volumes with a brighter tone. Then we will much more specifically a little brighter color here. Oh, there it is. There we are. We might be in trouble here soon. My cat has started fussing around in this corner. He is clearly upset that there was no breakfast prior to the stream starting. Well, this is tedious. Give us a second here. This is when you put on the glasses. This is when you go get the visor. That's where paint dilution is super critical. Ah, Wolfrave, good morning. That's cool, Lupu. A little water on this, see if we can bring this paint back to life here. We'll bring a little purple to this as well. Bring some of that purpley tone that we have in our reds into our browns. Working fairly opaque with our glaze, but we got a good flow to it. That's right, Wolfwraith. Good morning. Yeah, we're doing a little white scar action. I tend not to glaze back too much. Unless absolutely necessary. But there are times when it is necessary. Along this side, I'm not going to worry about just hitting the recesses. We're going to shade that back pretty good. We'll do the same thing over here. Apply like a generalized shade there. We'll hit this here pretty dark around the base of the knight. I haven't decided what we're going to paint him just yet, but we will do something fun. Paint might be a little thin here. Hang on. That's what happens when you try to paint with like 3-day-old parchment paper here. We've made some pretty solid progress here this morning, I believe. I had an image for reference. What did I do with my phone here real quick? Oh, there it is. Okay. We'll deal with all that at a later hour. Just says, yay, my hobby supplies are right. Oh, that's wonderful. What'd you get? Jack says, just kicking back and drinking coffee, taking it all in. Motor City Ray with the woo woo. Jax, you fighting a train there, Jax? No, we've never come anywhere close to having one of those happen in here. Over 60 says, been working on this cloak. Ashirani Ranger while watching you. Oh, let's have a peek. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ray, how have you been? I think we have some time. I think we have enough time to perhaps start working on a little bit of the fur. We're going to work with some of that. We're going to work with Gardaddy says, I'm enjoying the stream. It's UK lunch-ish, so good to have a stream going at this time. Oh, wonderful. It is American East Coast 7:08 a.m., so, you know, we're out here holding the line at this hour. Gardaddy says, currently working on my guard army using Escher models as Teleran proxy at the minute. Got a little link action here. Oh, look out. Digging the vibrancy. Oh, yeah. All kinds of fun stuff in here. Back to 40 K after 25 years, building custom Astra Militarum Regiment, the Phalanx Hammers. Over 60's heading out. Everyone be safe. Remember, all sickness can be cured by a bottle of Jack. We'll catch you later, over 60. You have a good day. We got CG Mini Painting in the building. Good morning. Thank you so much for that follow. Okay, so for the fur. Things are going to move fast, and they're going to get sloppy real quick. We're going to take this shadow color here. I'm going to sloppily paint it in here. Fairly wet. We're working a little bit in glazing here. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. We don't have to do this all over, but we're going to do the same thing in here, kind of thing. Now I'm going to grab that next color that we worked up here. A little bit of red. Start working it in around it. Paint's wet, fairly opaque, but not super. It's got a little glaze to it. here in this large highlighted patch. We're gonna get a little bit of our Baylor brown, a little Blondie Bear here. Start working that in. That is pretty much how we're gonna work our way around this. I'm gonna need something a little more pale. CG says, good morning. Thought I was already following. That's all right. Sometimes you have conversations with people in different chats regularly, and then you find out you're in a stream and you're like, oh, I never had a reason to click this button. You know? It happens to me. Okay. So let's try to find a good angle to come in here for this darker tone. Maybe we'll put a little bit of the darkness up in here as well. That could be fun. Veshu for the follow. Thank you so much. Not cleaning the brush at all. We're just bringing that next tone in here side by side. I'm just also applying this color off of the shoulder pad because a little tuft of this fur is connected to it. We're going to work back and forth between these 2-3 colors, and I have about 5 sitting here, so we're not using everything just yet. Try and get some good coverage here in these shaded areas. Tonal variation really is what we're after. Let me bring that next color in. CG Minis with the sub. Thank you so much. Oh, Ray. Thank you so much, Ray. Good morning. Kicking that out. Just gonna... Oops, sorry about the camera bump there. I don't know. Tomorrow's Friday. My birthday is Saturday. I don't know if I'll be doing like a birthday stream or anything. I don't typically stream on weekends anyway. So I don't know that there's any likelihood that anybody would be able to join in because it's not my schedule. But if I don't see you all tomorrow, thank you for being here. I do appreciate. I guess I'm taking this time not to talk about my birthday, but so much just to say that thank you all for being so supportive and keeping me getting up at 5 a.m. to get ready to stream, you know. It's been a wonderful 7-month project so far, and I can't wait to see what's next with it. Enjoy those emotes, CG Minis, and everybody thank Ray. I'm sure at one time or another one of you has received something from him, and if not in this stream, then in another. He is wonderfully supportive member of this community. Keeps the lights on at a lot of shops, so to speak. Alright, now we're just adding a little bit of this ochre color in as we start to dry, but not completely dry. So now, I think this is really the ticket with this, is to come back through before the paint fully dries and just kind of reactivate it with the next color. So you get somewhat of a blend, somewhat of a layer. It's like a little bit of both. And we're not picking out these individual fur pieces. That's never what we do until it's finally time to refine. It's our Brush for Hire. Good morning. How are you today? You know, in the end, when you're going to, if you're doing like beautiful display work. You can come through here and start picking out each little sculpted piece and show it the attention that it really deserves. But for right now, we're picking out little chunks. Big, so you see these little sculpted tufts? Think of them as we're just picking out and deciding that now this whole piece here is a bigger tuft. And so we're just painting it like that. Tree has a bigger section of fur. And then, as things go on, we're just refining those little areas until they're one individually sculpted little piece. But until then, like this whole ridge up here is going to be a highlight, and so on and so forth. Jenny85, thank you so much for that follow. Chaos Engine, good morning, good morning. Everybody stopping in today. This Thursday's been super humbling and wonderful. Oh no, did I just touch it? Okay, we've mixed our colors right into the green paint. Welcome one and all. CG Mini Painting, had anyone else noticed the amount of celebs that are now streaming? Musicians, race car drivers. Twitch must be happy. That's probably true. Amazon raking it all in. Now we're going to further refine these little bitty volumes as we go through. Jenny, thank you for that host. With a little bit brighter tone. And we're not worried about like smooth blends. Mark P57, thank you for hopping on in with that follow. McBraces, Twitch is probably a serious help for keeping the extroverts alive. Well, there's gonna be a lot of people, depending on what happens with this pandemic, there'll be a lot more of us hanging out this way. Warped Path is now following. Thank you so much. At Nomadic, Warped Path says, do you think starting to stream improved your motivation to paint, or was that never an issue? Because to be honest, I often struggle with motivation. It is absolutely a form of peer accountability. It was one of the biggest reasons why I started, was to kind of, you know, here's the deal. I don't have time to paint. You can make any excuse not to pick up your brush. And I have every one of those, right? But here's the deal. At 5 o'clock in the morning, when I get up to get ready to stream, and I start at 5:30, make no mistake, if it wasn't for all of you, Brush Price of CG Made, it is crazy. Heck, $70 webcams are selling for like $300 now. Wow. But to finish answering that thing, I would not get up at this hour for myself. It is absolutely for everybody that comes in and enjoys watching me paint and asks me questions and makes me feel like I have something of value to add to their day or their hobby. It just, yeah, it like I say, it keeps me getting up for sure. Wolf Wraith with a host. Thank you, Wolf Wraith. We are going to actually be wrapping the stream up here in the next probably 10 minutes or so. On account of, I'm going to have to go to work. Ray says, you complete me, Chris. Well, thank you so much, Ray. I should have some progress pics for you here soon on your commission. We're starting to get that rich purple in the recesses that I want. Now I just need to build the highlights a little bit more, and then we'll smooth things over again. But things are coming together. Okay, bro. Okay. The purple. We're trying to build up the luminous night elf druid tones here, and so it's gonna take a second. Cleo says, "Give me a hot minute trying to set up my Insta." Yeah, crazy times indeed. What's the next tone? There it is. Well, there's way too much water in the paint. Excuse me. Okay. That's much better. Some of these edge tufts. Now, as we started to dry, see these nice tonal shifts. It's nothing too great, but it is pretty subtle and pretty good, I think. I'm going to bring a little more of a vibrant tone into this. Just on, like, I'm using the sides of my brush here to kind of pick out like the little edge tips. In this particular process, I'm going to use across the volumes. I'm not like just very specific, because we want them to kind of share value across the different colors we're using. Sort of like a dry brush, but not really at all a dry brush. Just kind of more manual with the brush. I got nothing. Wait, well, who did this to you? Just Insta? Wait, I think that's Facebook, right? Let's see here. I'm trying to work a glaze. Nice wash consistency. That's probably good. Alright, now that we're dry in these areas, we're just gonna wash our original shade color pretty manually, but we're just trying to push this into the recesses of these sculpted little tufts. It's very thin, and we're just tying everything together. Brush Rice is already, well, gotta go and start my craziness. Wanted to stop in and say hi real quick. Take it easy, everybody. Alright, Brush, we'll catch you later. Thank you for stopping in. Jack says, see you later. Oh, yeah. Brush Fryer is so good. And then, yeah, we can start going through and getting real specific with things. Same thing with the bird. Like, I've just defined the volumes. Like, he's got a little brightness on his belly, on his legs, on this side of his wings. But later on, we'll get real specific. Have a fantastic day and wear a hat. It's cold outside. There you go. Night Simmer 12. Thank you so much for that follow. What were we even working on here? Just some fur. Picking out these little itty bitty pieces. It's kind of crazy how quickly something like this can come together. Just left that wash just a little bit wet. Because we want all these colors to meld together. We don't need anything stark in transition. Here we got quite a bit thicker glaze. We're going to go even thicker. Push some of this contrast here along the edge of this red where perhaps I overpainted a little bit onto the fur. Also starting to dark line the tufts, which will need to happen. Get that there. Okay. Warped Path says it takes some time. What they supposedly, oh yeah. Shouldn't take that much time though. I mean, the thing expires after a few minutes. What else can we do today? I think that's pretty much it. We've exhausted our capacity, so to speak. Get our darker tone here. Go a little brighter. For those of you that that subbed today, that received a sub from Ray CG, we do a subscriber only Discord, and I will kick you that invite. And anybody in here that is a subscriber and hasn't joined in yet should get in there. Be getting an email probably because it's a new month anyhow. Jenny85 says, hey to Motor City Ray. Yeah, things have started to come together here pretty nicely, I think. Especially back here on this blend. We did this all with our brush. Jenny85. Oh, Ray, thank you for gifting that out again. Jenny. Ray just hooked you up with some sick emotes. Give him a check. at all what I wanted to do. All right, everybody. Let's see if we can find us a raid target. If anybody has any opinions, anybody on that they like to watch, we can have a look at that too. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, Brush for Hire is definitely on. Warped Path says, so folks, stay healthy. I gotta go and get some stuff done for work. We'll see you. We'll catch you later. Have a good day. Oh, Wolf Wraith. Ray handing them out today. We got Wolf Wraith. We got Love Minis. We got Brian 34, we got Nakisiro, we got Apala, all these lovely subscriptions. Everybody enjoy it. Thank you so much, Ray. Kick some hype out to Ray. Paul Johnson's life says, oops, bad timing. Have a great day. Hello all. Oh, that's a fine time. We're getting ready to raid Brush for Hire, so hang out. We were working on this White Scars armor here, detailing out the backpack a little bit, you know. Working on these cloaks, these creamy red blends was the majority of the stream. We also did a little bit of fur, which I don't think you can discount. That white nice and smooth. Now we got Apala, wonderful. CG Mini Paint says at Motor City Ray, you star. Everybody. Yeah. Alright, Clan Wolf. Everybody enjoy your emotes, enjoy your day. If I see you tomorrow, wonderful. If not, it's been an amazing 7 months of streaming, and thank you all for the support daily. As far as Warp Path's question earlier, it just keeps me motivated, keeps me actually being productive. So yes, let's get this raid initiated. Won't waste the goodbye. We know what it is these days. It takes a little bit. I'm actually pretty happy with the leather strapping on the hilt here. Paul Johnson's life. Thank you for coming in. Even though it's the end, worry not. We're gonna go see some incredible artists. For those of you that are new here and might not know, this is what we usually work on. We work on some busts. We work on interesting minis. We work on commissions. It's all happening in here. Wolf Wraith says to Ray, thank you for the gifted sub. Everybody, thank Ray for all the wonderful things that they do. Oracle, yeah, there it is. There it is. All right, we got to get out of here so I can get ready for work. Everybody, you have a wonderful day, like I said, and we're out of here.